had another therapy session this morning. Yes, that's my third this week. My therapist was kind enough to give me some extra sessions. We were talking about all the wounds that have been triggered by this breakup and the reasons that were given by my ex for why I was being broken up with. I was told that I'm too anxious and that I need too much reassurance. It really activated, one of my deepest fears that I'm too much for just having basic human needs. That was me earlier this week, and this is me on a Saturday, February 1st, the start of a new month, the start of my birthday month. I will be turning 34 later this month. And I'm sitting here in a very messy room that I'm about to clean because my room tends to match the state of my emotions and my mental state. And so it is really messy, and I've been having a really, really rough week. I was abruptly broken up with over text by someone I had been seeing for a month and a half. 46 days to be exact. Yes, I counted. And though it was a short connection, it was very intense. It was a strong connection, or at least it was on my end. I did get very attached to this person. In my perception, they came on really, really strong in the first couple of weeks. And that did influence the way that I attached myself. But I've also seen a lot of unhealthy patterns on my end that I am noticing, processing, journaling about, talking about in therapy, things that I really want to change about myself going forward. And so, though this is painful, it is not a waste of time or a waste of an experience at all. I feel like I am growing so much and learning so much from this experience. And this is what it looks like for me on the other side of an unexpected, really painful breakup, going about my weekend, putting my life back together, and going forward. First thing on the agenda for today, now that I have woken up, washed my face, had my breakfast, watched some Jade Fox content, spent a little time with my daughter. Now I am going to get my laundry started, clean my room, and then I will be meeting back up with my kiddo to take our dog on a walk and to do some coloring because we've been coloring this wall hanging together. And then at some point I'm going to take down the Christmas tree because it's been up the entire month of January. And while that has been nice, it's a new month. I'm just feeling the freshness, the newness of a new month. It's my birthday month. I just want to put things away, clean things up. One of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite movies, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, Laura Jean says, "My life is a mess, but I can at least clean my room." And that is a quote that I live by. So without further ado, I'm gonna get to that. was looking for this. I was looking for these too. Oh my god, what you can find when you clean your room. I'm looking at my hair right now because I'm getting a haircut later today. It's actually going to be by my friend and old coworker. She was and still is the lead vet tech at the last clinic that I worked at. And she is also a very amazing hairstylist. And so I'm going to be going to her house in a couple hours to get my hair cut. And I think I want to grow it out, which is really weird because I have had this sort of very short micro bob for the last couple years. That is what has felt the most like me, and I'm changing. I'm changing, my friends, and we all change, and that's exciting and scary. And yeah, my hair decisions feel very symbolic, you know? I have enjoyed my bisexual bob phase. That's what I have thought of my bob as, a bisexual bob. But honestly, I'm not really feeling as attached to the label bisexual anymore. Ah, I know, I know. Anyone who has followed me on the internet since the first time I popped up in 2020 might be really surprised by that, but honestly, I'm not exactly sure what label fits the best, but lately I've just been feeling queer. Just queer. Not bi, not pan, just queer. And I'm not really ready to talk about why, but that's just where I'm at right now. So I am looking forward to a new era, though it is scary. It's also kind of exciting, and it's okay to change your mind. I'm doing something new with my hair. I'm gonna try growing it out. I want layers. I actually think I want some long things. That's where I'm at. So we'll see. I tried to do a little research, you know, leading up to this haircut. I think what I'm looking for is called curtain bangs. Anyways, wow, I feel kind of embarrassed talking about all of this, but I'm trying to be more vulnerable in my vlogs and show up as more of myself. So that's what you get. That's what you're getting today. Also, I am a week out of a really tough breakup. So it makes sense that I would be a little bit messier than normal, and I'm letting myself be messy and embrace that. Honestly, I'm really grateful that I am feeling much more okay than I was expecting to, because those first few days after being broken up with, those first few days were brutal. Oh my God, the pain was so incredibly deep, so deep. But I really am trying to turn the focus back to what do I need right now? How can I care for myself through these feelings and this process of, separating myself mentally from someone that I was very connected to for a month and a half, and that I was expecting to be connected to for a long time. I am really proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself for all of the things that I am learning and the ways that I am leveling up in my self-love, in being there for myself, and I am working on my attachment wounds, because oh man, the attachment issues that I have, they are so strong, and that is okay. It makes so much sense. It makes so much sense that I have this extremely anxious attachment style, and that those things come out when I am dating. Well, they come out all the time, but especially when I'm dating. And I really do feel like dating is a realm where I can really work on myself in a really deep and powerful way. I think even though it feels cliche to say, I think that romantic connections bring up a lot of our childhood trauma, a lot of our childhood stuff. I think it just does. It's just how it works. And I think that we as humans play out a lot of our childhood trauma in romantic connections. And, a past version of me would have been like really hard on myself right now and would be like, see, this is why. This is why you cannot date, Ellie, because you are too traumatized, you are too broken, you have too much baggage, you have too many issues from your painful, shitty childhood. So you need to cut yourself off. You need to be enough for yourself. You need to stop dating. You need to be self-sufficient. You need to focus on other kinds of relationships and just stop it. Just stop it. Just fix yourself first. Be healthy. Love yourself enough first. And oof, that's so harsh. That's so harsh. And I don't think that it's fair. I don't think that my past self was being fair to me. And if my therapist was here right now, they would be saying that even the part that was harsh is still worthy, and that we can have compassion for that part, because they're just trying to keep us from getting hurt. They're just trying to help us survive. They think that they're helping us earn love, because that's what, for me specifically, I've been trying to do my whole life. I learned really, really, really young that the way to get love, you have to earn it. And for me, that has looked like being giving, being helpful, being selfless, being supportive, being needed. If I can be needed by someone, then that means that I'm lovable and I won't be abandoned. These are the childhood wounds that I have that have come out so strongly in this dating connection and in this breakup. And the other thing that is new for me this time around is I've actually never been broken up with before. I have always been the one to initiate the end of my past relationships. And, please keep in mind that I have very little dating experience still. Anyone who knows my backstory will know that I was not allowed to date growing up in a fundamentalist Christian culty sort of community. And so the first person I ever had a relationship with was the person that I married. And then last year, or actually now when I say last year, it actually is 2 years ago, in 2023, I dated a couple of people. And though it was very painful to make that decision, both times, I was the one to initiate the breakup in both of those cases. And this time around, it was not my decision. Someone broke up with me, and it's a really different experience so far for me. It's a really, really different experience. I think for me, it's been much harder to be the one breaking up with someone, because there's so much turmoil over, did I make the right decision? Just a lot of doubts, a lot of it's very hard for me to stand in that decision. But being broken up with, it's like, okay then, It feels much easier to let go and accept it and to move on. Because I know that I was very giving and very patient and kind, and I was very honest. And though I was anxious and I did ask for reassurance, I did it in a very kind way. And I'm not trying to brag, I'm just being honest. And if that wasn't enough, if you don't value that, then okay. I would like to be with people who do value that. And not only that, but who want to give that energy back too. Who also are very thoughtful and kind and giving. My goal is to be in a partnership someday. I want to be in a partnership where we are both working on ourselves, we are both working on our relationship, and we both have a better matched capacity to give. But I also am realizing here that I tend to choose partners, or rather people to date, who don't have the same capacity to give. And that's not a judgment on my part. That's not me saying like I feel that this person couldn't give me what I needed and what I wanted. The person who broke up with me literally told me, I cannot give you what you want and what you need. Even though I was told a different story earlier on. But I digress. Stick with me here, okay? I know this is a little messy, but keep in mind, it's only been a week, okay? It's only been a week. Still feeling a lot of feelings here, as you can tell. Still feeling a lot of feelings. Trying to show up vulnerably without sharing too much. It's a delicate balance. Obviously, I'm still feeling sad, still feeling hurt, still feeling, a little angry. And that's okay. That's okay. That is okay. I'm not bad for having those feelings. I'm not bad for having those feelings. Anyways, even now with all of the feelings that I am, processing here, and I do feel hurt by certain things, including the way that I was broken up with. I did not feel that it was very kind. And I did get an apology for that, so I appreciate that. Still hurts, even with the apology, but even with all of that, I know that I also had a part to play in the unhealthiness of the connection. It wasn't all bad, but there was definitely some unhealthiness for sure. And, we just weren't compatible. I think that's the bottom line. And I think I knew that early on, and I still chose to continue dating this person. That is a choice that I made. And some of those incompatibilities we discussed, and we mutually agreed to continue seeing each other even in spite of that. But beyond that, I did not show up as my healthiest self. I think I did in the first couple of weeks, but when things started to get a little more complicated, rather than saying, I wish you the best, I just don't think that this is the right connection for me, I stayed and I grew more and more attached to this person, and I tried harder and harder, which is a pattern for me. It's that whole earning love thing. The less someone gives to me, the more I tend to commit. And this is not just romantic connections. I do this in friendships. I really do this in friendships. So that's something that I've been kind of noticing and reevaluating in the last few months. It's something that I'll continue to work on. It sucks. It's not fun to have these patterns, but I'm noticing them. I am talking about them in therapy. I'm journaling. I am processing my feelings and holding space for myself to process those feelings. And, I'm taking some time right now to really heal from the pain of this connection that has just ended and the breakup itself. And then whenever I feel ready, I'm gonna date again. I'm not cutting myself off. I don't think that that is kind to myself. And I don't think it's ultimately helpful, because I want to date. And the more that I repress something, the stronger it grows. And the more that I am harsh with myself, the more shame I feel. And it just becomes a loop. I have felt so much shame over the fact that I am almost 34 and I have such little dating experience, but there's no shame in that. Everyone's on a different timeline. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to keep being there for myself. I'm going to keep making progress in how I want to show up in a romantic connection, how I want to show up for myself and as myself, and how I want to balance that and my other relationships and the rest of my life. If I don't practice it, I'll never make the progress that I'm wanting to make. I'm gonna get my hair cut today. That is such a such a cliche, classic thing to do when you get broken up with. Get your hair cut or change your hair in some way. So I'm just gonna lean into it, you know? I will meet more people who will value me. And in the meantime, I'll keep trying to love myself.